medicine exchange. I mean, I've been so delighted to listen to Bob's guitaring and his beautiful songs and your warm hugs ever since I've stepped on these shores, and it's been a fabulous welcome. And I know it's not just for the few of us. You extend this welcome to anyone around the world who's excited about energy medicine, and that's just a blessing to all of us.
Well, thank you so much.
You can look at him there because that's the camera.
This week, yeah, that's fine, Bob. Yeah, I mean, look at the camera. I think that's probably better. Yeah. As far as this week goes, it's probably one of your busiest weeks in the whole year.
Oh, very, very much so.
But also one of the most enjoyable.
Please, well, tell us about what you've got planned. Tell us about what you've got in store for us.
Well, we're going to launch the conference. We start on Wednesday with the Science Symposium, and we have quite a few abstracts from wonderful new research projects on energy medicine that will be presented that day. We have 2 keynote speakers that will be speaking during the day. Let me see. I'm going to get this over here. We ought to change chairs because I need to get to my materials. Anyway, we've got Steve Haltewanger, who's an MD, who's going to be speaking as a keynote at the Science Symposium, and then we have Gaetan Chevalier, who's also going to be speaking. And that should be a beautiful day. I think it's going to go on from like 8:30 till about 6 in the evening. And then
I know both Steve and
Thursday,
Gaetan personally.
Oh, good. Well, then you'll get to see them.
LifeWave is a massive contributor to energy medicine research around the world, and of course Gaetan is world famous for being a researcher in our field. So I think you've done really well to represent the industry that we need support from, and obviously also the pioneers in our field.
I think Melinda Connors to be commended for inviting to come and speak for that day of research. So we hope everybody who's coming to the conference will come at least early enough to be in on part of that, if not the whole day. It's included in the conference fee, so it's well worth the while to come that day early on the Wednesday and enjoy that. The next then, of course, we start the conference, and we have Sheila Hirsch, who's a world-renowned artist, and she does a little bit of everything, actually. She's traveled the world. She's had some amazing healing experiences of her own. She's had time with large groups of people at a time when she was totally isolated from everyone, and she has an incredible background, and she's a marvelous artist and a wonderful, really a wonderful scientist in her own way. She has that kind of curiosity. So we're really excited about her presentation. And we then have Master Chunyi Lin, who is the head of the Spring Forest Qigong group. And he's an amazing master. He's just amazing, and the real genuine article. So I think that just being in a group with him is a privilege, and he will be speaking and also presenting a forum. So we have those. We have 3 days worth of just incredible speakers that are going to be there at the conference. I think ICEAM is unique because of all the groups that talk about energy and energy medicine, it is the most, it emphasizes the scientific aspect of all this the most. And so it's very unique, and it's been there for like we've been going for about 23 years now in terms of having conferences. So we've been around for a while and have a wonderful publication that we published still online at iceme.org. You can download those wonderful research journals that we published. And then we are still publishing the magazine, the Subtle Energies magazine. Steve Coates is the editor of that, and so that's a free publication, a free download from the ICEME website. ICEME is a group that is really established for service and information and scientific investigation of subtle energies and energy medicine.
It's so wonderful to hear you reasserting the mission and giving us invitations to access the archive. Certainly, the ICEME archive is the most substantial in our field, and any student, whoever approaches me about where to access information, this is one of the first places I send people. And it's not just the volume; it's also the quality. ICEME is often publishing articles from scientists who are not publishing anywhere else at all, and even scientists who go on to become quite famous. They may have their first articles published in your journals. So we're more than delighted to embrace the endeavors that you've gone through, and especially now that these things need preserving and access needs providing, to support you in that endeavor as well. So EME is here to embrace what ICEME stands for, and it's so great, as I said, to hear from you at the latest update. Can you also put your other hat on, Anne, and tell us about the Holos University, especially if I was a student and I wanted to sign up? And when does my year start, and how much am I going to be investing? These kinds of things, the nitty-gritty things of doing my THD or my course through you.
I want to put Bob on for that, because that's really the hat he wears most of the time. It's turned out now that since we're doing ICEME, that's the hat I wear most of the time. I am the dean of Holos University, but Bob really wears the Holos University hat. So I want to put him on for this question.
Come on then, Bob. Let's see you.
Right.
Wonderful.
We started our semester in early September, so if a student wanted to, or a prospective student wanted to look at our program, the best thing to do is go to our website, www.holosuniversity.org, and look at the calendar that's there and the home page, and look particularly at a HAL Cafe program, because every Wednesday at 4 to 5 Central Time we have a 1-hour informal session where our faculty and students and prospective students come and just ask questions, share information. Always the interesting part is parting thoughts at the end of the hour, and so they can meet some people that way. But we think the best way to learn about our program is to talk to people who are in it or were in it, and that's what we try to put as our principal. I'm director of admissions, and that's our principal outreach for new students. To come to the campus the second week in September, and is the best way to get some personal contact with professors and students in the program. But then that gets followed by the remainder of the semester, and we have 20-week-long semesters instead of 15 or 16 weeks. Then they write the papers and have the discussions that provide and have those over the telephone or go to meeting or some other internet based
According to my phone, I must ask Christie's friend.
and
She can take her out on a date.
they go.
Unusual.
All the less to push people. Friday at 9, I'm just gonna put it and catch up on them.
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry, we had some interference there. The
I can hear you guys okay.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. I'm going to mute my camera again.
Great, great. Well, just to say, Bob, I appreciate that update. It really sounds, as you said, that the experience is very intimate with your the faculty, and they take on a kind of individual management of your students. How many students are you expecting to have as freshers this September?
It's difficult to know now because we're just getting into the period where they are expressing a serious interest. We have 50 to 60 serious prospective students. We have 50 plus or minus 10 students actually on campus at any one time. And we are now finally in a position where we can pretty much double that enrollment. So we would like in a couple of years to have that to be about 100 or 100 students. But we never want to get so large that all the administrators and faculty, most of them would know most of the students in the program at any one time.
And I'd like to make it really clear that this is all learning program, even though our professors stay really connected with the students by means they can. We only have once a year in the fall semester we meet at Unity Village, and we have some residencies that they take with people who are teaching courses that have to have some hands-on experience with the students. So that's when we do the hands-on stuff. It takes place like for us Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of September. But the rest of the time it's all distance, so you don't have to move to come and be a student. You don't have to be somewhere other than where you live. You can keep your job and go to school. So it's a very good program in that way for adults.
Oh, that's fantastic. So I could actually be a student of Holos from anywhere in the world as long as I could come to the experience that you have on campus for 1 week.
And if you're going to do for the master's in theology, then just one such week would probably be adequate. If you're going for a doctorate, that would require probably 2 or 3 such
maybe
sessions. So they would need to come to the States 2 or 3 times in the 4 or 5 years required to get a doctorate.
But we can make exceptions. It's a very long trip to take. We've had students that are from such a far distance. We don't really require that on-campus experience from someone like that. We can find other ways to give them an introduction that's more personal without having them make that long, expensive trip. So we're flexible about that.
Well, that's
the most
significant
thing. The most significant thing is that they have a passion for some research in some area, and we help them develop that, and we guide them, we work with them, so that they are encouraged to become one of the 10 best informed people on the planet in that particular area of thought, and do what they are most passionate about, what Spirit seems to be calling them to do, getting in touch with their higher mind. And our motto for all of our students is come home to yourself, and their higher self particularly they come home to in this program.
I would point out that if they go on the website, the Hollis University website, there is a place there where you can download all of the dissertations that have been written by our doctoral students and the master's theses, and that's a good way to get to know what it is you will be expected to do in the program. And they've done some beautiful research projects for their doctoral degrees, and so it's not an easy thing necessarily, but it's a very rich thing for people to really learn what it is they're capable of in terms of research and writing.
Sounds fantastic. It really does, guys. I'm thrilled for you, and of course that means that's another resource for people, that you've made these documents available online, so that for students who are doing papers on similar subjects have now got access to reference these Holos papers,
Yes.
and that in a way obviously gets them read and out and about more now that they're in the public domain. So I'll definitely make sure when that those links are widely available on our network. I did just want to say something though, guys, because this event, just before us, we've had Donna Eden and David Feinstein and Craig Weiner and Alina Frank speaking on the West Coast, and it's an opportunity for us who work in energy medicine as a couple to perhaps share some of the benefits that we get, that perhaps go a little bit further than perhaps the diet. How do you guys work and love together so well for so many years? What's the secret?
Well, that's a good question. We're just really good friends, for one thing. We've been together. We had our 50th wedding anniversary not too long ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's a long time to be a partner with someone. We do correspond. Ever since we met, we have a correspondence that just happens. We couldn't call each other on the phone when we first met, because if he picked up the phone to call me, I would pick up the phone to call him, and the line would be busy. I mean, it was that kind of so, that means that you're connected at many, many levels, and I think that's what's been the most important aspect. And then you learn things from one another. We're not alike. I think people marry someone very often who has qualities that they don't have yet. And it's funny, I like to tell this story that you meet somebody who, I met Bob, and of course he doesn't know that he ever met a stranger. He doesn't think about what he says before he opens his mouth, because it's okay, he just says what he wants to. And he's very outgoing. I was, at the time I met him, very reserved. I had never given a public talk. I was not like that. I would stand back and figure out the situation before I said anything.
And although she has a perfect pitch voice, she didn't even sing.
And I wouldn't sing in front of people. And so, at any rate, it was interesting. Then once I married him, I liked that about him. That was what attracted me. But once we were married, during those first years, I was embarrassed. And I would kick him under the table, and I'd say, Bob, you shouldn't say things like that, And I realized one day, as I was doing that, I thought, oh my goodness, I'm trying to kill the very thing in this man that attracted me to him. I've got to stop that. I need to realize that I need a little more of that, and he needs maybe a little bit more of my reserve. But that's what's happened in the 50 years, I think, and it's been wonderful.
But also somewhat explains the point, for all men kill the things they love.
Oh.
Some do it with a word, a coward with the sword. So it's the other way around. But in any event, we've had fun entertaining each other and exploring. I think asking good questions, and we particularly join in exploring and making new questions and seeing what's available, and not being constrained by the conventional thought.
The inner Alaskan wilderness gives up.
That's so beautiful. And it's so nice to catch you a little bit off guard so that you can speak from your hearts. Um, what I perhaps wanted to ask you also is, say for example, Anne, you were mentioning yesterday that Bob was out west fixing the fences. When he comes in with a sore shoulder, do you give him healing? Is there healing exchange between you two?
I don't know. We're interesting. We do wait on one another when everyone hurts, but it's funny because we're both alike in that when we're not feeling well, we just want to go into our cave, and be there until it's strange. We're both the same way. I don't know why that is, but
Well, I remember the last time when you visited our farm, I was climbing on top of our 39-foot recreational vehicle. I was surprised that a person in the 80s would be climbing on such a vehicle. We still have the same vehicle, and we'll be bringing it to Colorado in August for our annual retreat.
Oh, wonderful. Well, perhaps that's another one of your secrets is these annual retreats. It seems to be sensible for, a couple who are in the public eye and, at everybody's beck and call to take time away from the routine and head into the mountains. Is that something that you've really enjoyed over the years?
oh, we wouldn't miss it. In fact, we missed only one time when the well wasn't working at the retreat, and they were digging the well. That's the only one we've missed in
Since 1970.
since 1970. And all kinds of things would come up, like a child would want to plan a wedding during that period of time. We always go the first week in August, and we would just say, well, go ahead and plan it then, but we will not be there. So we kept that sacrosanct. Well, it's the only thing you can do, because everybody has their priorities. And of course, then they would switch off, thank goodness, and find a time when we could be there. But we just had to say, no, we're not going to interrupt that for anything. It's what gives us, it puts the wind back under our wings, and we have to have that time.
And we have lots of time.
So perhaps I need to let you. Perhaps I need to let you guys go soon, but I would just like to ask you and to mention the team at Holos and ISEAM. There are so many incredible people who make this happen, and I'm always stunned by the depth of their commitment, and I think humility is the thing that graces everyone in the ISEAM team. Perhaps you could spend a moment mentioning some of the characters who really help you along the way, and you mentioned the lady who Celia, who does the journal. What other people do we need to give a shout to?
Well, one that's very important is the person who is she's my associate in both as the dean and as the CEO of ISEAM, and that's Kate Hunter. She's an incredibly talented young woman, and she has just saved my life in terms of being able to do what we're doing. She's wonderful. If you're at the conference, you will meet her there. Marilyn, who's in our office, I don't know if you've had an opportunity to speak with her, but she's an incredible human being also. She really walks her talk, and she is efficient, and she's loyal, and just a wonderful person. We love everybody that's part of this. All of our board, our Holos University board, many of them get involved, and they'll be there acting as guides, showing people how to get from one place to another on the campus when you're there for the conference. And Jim Gaither, our president, who's just a delight and a joy. Bob and he just had a road trip about a week ago where they went off together to tell people about Holos and so forth. He's just a wonderful human being. We just love everybody that's there. It's a real privilege to work with people that you love, and that's what we do. So we feel really fortunate there. Our daughter, Lou Dunley, is the database manager for Holos University, and of course for everything else we do. But so she's living in Virginia, but we get to connect with her really often, just talking about what we're up to, and she's a lot of fun too. It's just a grand thing.
Wonderful. It's so lovely to hear about your team. You speak of them almost like family. But I mean, I really have been impressed by the board of ICEAM over the years. I've been lucky enough to come for the last 10 years or so, and they really do stand out as important characters, kind of holding the matrix, almost as the elders for energy medicine in the United States and beyond as well. Now, this year, I know Carl Merritt is giving a lecture. I mean, he's a good example of the amazing integrity that the ICEAM board has, and he gave a lecture on the heart at ICEAM some time ago, which it wasn't just my socks that got blown off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, what's happened with ICEAM, because it kind of went into a hiatus where it was just like in a chrysalis stage for a couple of years because of a financial problem that they ran into. And what they did then was to call us at Holos University and ask us if we would take ICEAM in under our corporate umbrella, our 501c3. And so we did that. At that time, the ICEAM board just kind of dissipated, but we have many of those people who are on the Wisdom Council of ICEAM, and we keep the Wisdom Council alive. And so anyone who's ever been a president of ICEAM is on that Wisdom Council. And so we use that as an advisory council in terms of ICEAM, because our idea when we said we would take ICEAM under the corporate umbrella was we did not want to change its mission or to change its identity, or to change anything about what it's been doing in the world. And so, but we don't have a separate board for ICEAM. The Holos University Academic Board and Financial Board, Corporate Board, serve as the boards also for ICEAM, because ICEAM has come under our 501c3. But it's a great board, and some of the people, like Bob and me and Bernie, have been on the ICEAM board. So it's still like family, and it's still, I feel, very well represented there.
And Elmer Green's
we're looking to the future. Sorry, Bob, carry on.
Yeah, the Elmer Green's legacy is still very clearly influenced in ICEAM as it is going forward. He is clearly the one who has most inspired most of the people in the ICEAM movement.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Looking
ahead, I mean, sorry to interrupt you. I mean, Elmer Green obviously is the founding father of other organizations. There's a really amazing video on YouTube, black and white video of him wiring up yogis and doing biofeedback, many years ago. So you may have seen that one, Anne. But looking ahead now, Bob, this year, the conference this weekend, it coincides with this event, so it would be delightful if people can do this time warp stunt and arrive there, with us this weekend. But looking ahead for next year, we'd really like to see ICEAM event fill to capacity, the conference. So can you confirm that you'll give us some leeway and some information about the event as it unfolds, so that we can promote it on EME, and perhaps come again and speak to us about what you've got planned, so we can see more of our members who don't ever join together and have the famous ICEAM hugs that really are so difficult to do without.
We also have 4 sessions of 9 forums that are Thursday and Friday afternoons. And we could even arrange it so that one of those 9 concurrent forums could be EME forums. And we would
that would be wonderful. We'd certainly like to contribute and interact with ICEAM as much as possible. In fact, we're obviously not just doing this with ICEAM. ICEAM to us is the grandmother of energy medicine, but there are lots of organizations around the world like ACEP, the AAMET, the AMT, to name but a few. And the good thing about EME being a virtual organization is that we can communicate quickly and respond to moment. We're trying to encourage all the different organizations to potentially contribute to doing just one journal, good annual journal, so that this issue with resources and funding perhaps could be kicked into touch as we all cooperate.
Exactly. Very much so.
Well, thank you guys for being here with us. We really are having a special day today, and you being here too makes it even more special. This is just the first time that I've managed to get Bob and Anne Nunley on the EME etheric stage, but it's certainly not going to be the last time. And please rest assured that we love and support and admire your work.
Thank you.
Thank
so
you,
much.
Thornton. We really appreciate you too. So we hope to see you at the conference. Are you coming down the road our way?
Yeah, we'll see you there. See you there. Just see you there.
All right.
All the best.
Lots of